Okay, did the camera just come on? Like, I swear to God, it gave me a green light and then it like delayed. So I don't know. You know what time it is. I'm getting so frustrated with these little glitches lately. It feels like Mercury retrograde, but it's not. It's just really confusing lately. And that's exactly why I'm doing cards for the confusion. Because I feel like there's a lot of sensory input. And in some cases, a lack of sensory input. And either one of those can cause confusion. I had in mind to talk about self-fulfilling prophecies today, but I'm going to have to put that on the shelf for a minute in lieu of cards for the confusion. I feel like there's a lot of data, and then, and like I said, in some cases, it's like piano keys. So it's discordant energy with all this Gemini stuff. Too much data, and then there's gaps in the data as well. So it's causing a lot of. I'm trying to make sense of this. I'm trying to make sense. And things are happening really fast, or at least they were. I think it's going to get a little bit better with Mars and Taurus now, but having the Mars in Aries at 29 degrees was pretty awful. I felt the shift yesterday, and it felt like somebody taking their foot off the gas. I was in the middle of cleaning the gym, and it went from tension, like high tension, to, all right, I'm pacing myself with this shit. It's gonna be fine. I love Taurus energy for that. So these cards are for, I know, all my girls that I've touched base with in the last 48 hours have either had wild dreams, myself included, that we can't apply to reality quite yet, or it doesn't quite fit with our current reality. In some cases it's negative, some cases it's positive. I had a really positive dream that doesn't make sense. And I want with all my heart to open up to it and believe it, but at the same time, my current reality has a void in that area. So I can't judge it. I can't I I don't know what to do with it. And I in cases of my roommate, she's having some big life changes going on her in her mind as well. Um which will affect me if they come through a certain way, or it'll just maintain velocity, but I don't know exactly what's going on with that. So every action interaction has an equal and opposite reaction. We have physics at play. So I know that we could go into mental stimulation and do gross overcorrections, and then might have to go fix it. And you don't always get a chance to do it twice. So for those of us who are psychic on top of the Gemini season thing, you got to find out where your Gemini placements are. Mine are in the 12th, mostly, and then 12th first house. So I'm the one who can really tell you if you do have any psychic senses and you are empathetic. It's loud right now. I'm having trouble sensing what's mine and what's other people's. I just, I've been doing a lot of inner child meditation too, and I'm feeling the weight of years and years of grief not recognized. And I sat here with the intention of trying to make myself feel better and snap out of it this morning. But I realized while I was meditating, the tension is because you're not done grieving what you recognized, what you uncovered. You're not done spending time with it. You're not done giving it a witness. So why are you trying to move past that page so quickly? Just because it's uncomfortable? The whole reason why it exists in the first place is because it's been uncomfortable and you didn't want to look at it. So if you're going through, inner child reflection or something that resonates with what I just said, let it sink in. Otherwise, let it roll off your back like water off a duck. Now, we'll get to these cards. I just did my card prayer before I got into the live, where I asked for my ego to be removed and for all of that. But I want to reiterate the part where I ask for you to invite your deities of choice, your guides from the other side, your ancestors, your people, energies that you talk to on the inside of your head that want your highest good, not the ones that want to sow more confusion. We're trying to get good advice here. So go ahead and welcome yours in mentally right now. I've already done mine. I've already invited mine. I've already asked for my ego to be removed, but it always feels good to say it out loud as many times as possible. So I don't know, it just feels good. I get this feeling of support when I say it. And it feels warm and relaxing. So I feel plugged in when I remove my ego for a temporary time while I'm delivering these messages for the reading. I always come from a very warm, loving place when I'm doing these. It's my favorite. So, my intention isn't to take reversals, but will note the ones that try to, just for shits and giggles. I've never shown this to you guys, but this is sitting here on my table right in front of me. This is my homie. I found him at Goodwill in Linwood near Seattle. So it was in Washington. But he's on my little table. He's intended probably for like a tea light or something. But his brand name is Matchless. But his name on the bottom says his name is Orion. And he has the Aries symbol and the Pisces symbol right here. So he's an astrologer and a knower of various things with his little crystal ball. So I kind of stare at him when I pull the cards. I have a little lapis lazuli square in front of him. Like, I just thought you guys would like to know. I have a bunch of other crystals and things on my table. My good friend, Kari. I met her when I was in physical therapy. She was an aide, but she's just a beautiful person inside and out. And before she moved out of California, gave me this paint. It's a wood burning of Icarus, flying too close to the sun. So I have that on my table too. It says Lapsos. So I have knickknacks. Well-loved knickknacks on this table. Good vibes only. Tarot. I'm about to pull cards for this confusion. Look at, I like, I like, let's do a general snapshot. You can be as literal as you possibly can, Spirit. But, like I said, I'm not intending on taking reversals. But tell me, give me a plain out, like a reiteration. Witness for me about this confusion and what I can witness for them. And then we'll get an advice do don't. Tell me about this data input that we're getting and how to assimilate the information, or at least maybe not how to assimilate the information yet, but show me about this data and how we're receiving it and the capacity that we're receiving it in this very moment. What can we learn from a bird's eye view of this very moment without analyzing it or trying to change it? Well, maybe analyzing it, but not, at least not trying to change it in this sense right now. Bird's eye view of the confusing now with all this Gemini energy. Moon's about to go into Virgo. It's going to be a square. While it's in Leo, let's get some unconditional love out of these cards. We've been relying on the water cooler a lot more at my dad's house here, and it needs maintenance, so it's causing a lot of congestion in my chest. Okay, this trying to come reverse, 7 of Pentacles. Patience, kind of, but honestly, this feeling of hurry up and wait, another reversed, trying to be reversed, 10 of Wands. Okay, this did not come out reversed. This was... I love that card so much. It's a meeting of the heart. And then 3 of Wands. This is what is right now, okay? We've been working so fucking hard. Makes me sad. I feel the tension. I kind of feel like crying because it's so hard. Been working so hard and seeing so little reward. We know we're worth more. It's so frustrating. Feeling like it's never the right time to be seen, to feel that sense of security. Like it's just always in front of you like a dangling carrot. You, us. You know what's frustrating about this is it's just saying patience is the key, really. This is a mercurial symbol of exchange. Technically, this symbol here is about energy exchange or money exchanges or mercantile exchanges or exchanging product. But this down here is more intimate. So it's about equanimity and reflection of each other as human beings, filling each other's cups. And this is something that feels like it takes a long fucking time to come through. And it's so exciting and potential. Like the potential is so thick. But there's a lot of planning that's being done. We know we've planted the seeds. We've tilled the ground. We've been extremely dutiful. We've been showing up every single day. And it just seems like more things get piled on. One after another after another. And it's just so heavy. And we're looking forward to the thing that makes us feel light coming to fruition. We're looking for the day when the burden gets spread out and shared. We're looking to be the embodiment of that in the meanwhile while it comes together. This is a big, dutiful energy showing up every single day. Doing the job, weighing things out. At the end, we have just as much patience as we do really in the beginning. Beginning card, ending card. What else? Okay, embodiment, meaning main character energy. Everything's happening for you. You know that. This isn't about advice. This is about what it is. Your heart's still yearning. And there's promise of it coming in. It just feels like it's long and forever taking. I'm going to get shuffling on these again. That's exactly what's going on. So all this input is making us feel heavy. We keep showing up every single day and things keep getting added to the plate, new data, new added addition to the plate, and it's like we know we're supposed to arrive with compassion for ourselves, and then everything else will fall into place when it comes to terms with other people. We're supposed to put ourselves first. We know that. We're supposed to selectively sift so we ourselves don't feel overburdened and overwhelmed. But it can be hard to know which things to put down and which things to pick up. And there's a yearning, a very human yearning for identification and just heart to heart where I get it. Like filling cups is very missed in that portion of the reading. That equanimity sense. Because it seems like there's so much other duties tied to everything else. And there's a lot of drainage of energy. It's been going on the last little while. And we know human perception is tired, and have a second. Sit on the dock of the bay. Waste some time. Rest your bones. Be a little lonely and be aware of that. I just looked down in the bottom of the deck. I haven't reshuffled for an advice do don't yet. But the bottom of the deck from where I pulled the cards, Just noting that. I think it's the most beautiful card in the deck. Just, I mean, drink all that color in. To me, that's beautiful. Meanwhile, I painted my own nails this time. So, yeah. I'm going to show them off. I love that card. It's the card of Gemini, believe it or not. So this is relationship and knowledge from angels. So let's get an advice, do don't. We just saw things as they are. Things are extremely frustrating. Given Otis Redding, Dock of the Bay vibes. I love Otis Redding so fucking much. So let's get a little bit of clarity. Some advice, do don't. Like, we're lost. We're feeling so many feelings because there's a lot of data coming in. A sense of impending burnout, overload. Missing that Two of Cups, equal energy exchange, and wondering how long it's going to take. Fucking cards. You guys are funny. You know that? You're funny, haha, and funny weird at the same time. My guys are fucking weird. They know. They know. They're like, we gave some of that to you. I know. Thanks. Alright. Can you guys get serious for a second? Give me some advice. Oh, right. The advice is going to be to laugh more. Okay. Let's see this. Right, you're really gonna whip me up and be silly for this? Okay, let's see these cards. Alright. You guys took me through some tears and now you're gonna fucking make me laugh? Advice, do don't. It's not funny, but it's definitely a sink. She came out reversed, just saying. I've been told so many times that this is my card, so that's why I smirked. Advice. Do. Don't. This is reversed. Taking note of that. But then we're not accepting that as part of the definition. The don't. It's so funny because we have a spiritual palindrome here. Well, the don't here would be, don't surrender to, yesterday I talked about learned helplessness, right? You have a degree of control here. So you can't submit with the idea, not my will, but thy will. You have to take some responsibility. And the responsibility from the advice card is, what did you learn? What have you learned your whole life? What is the whole thing that you've been on this path for, from top to bottom? What did you go through all of that for? What did you do to build your intuition thus far? And are you going to stand by that? Or are you going to second guess your intuition? Are you going to wonder if you had it right the first time? Or are you going to sit in your power and know that your knowledge comes from straight from the guides. You've been praying for wisdom forever. And by the fruit, if you've been doing the work spiritually, and if you're in integrity, then you have nothing to worry about. The advice is just keep there. Keep in the balance. Those pillars, there's so much things to unpack. They have a B and a J. It's Boachim and Boaz and Joachim. There's lore, Masonic lore based on these pillars. Black and white have been used in many, many different types of occult, spiritual backgrounds, not just Masonic. But in essence, it stands for the foundations of light and darkness. It's no different than the yin-yang. So if you're balanced within your own energies, your spiritual energies, your creativity and destruction, polarity, your love and hate polarity, or love and fear polarity, or your absolute knowledge and absolute lack of knowledge. These polarities go any type of way. But sitting in the middle of them and knowing that you know nothing, that you'll get the guidance as you go. You have inexhaustible faith, and that's all you need. That's where she's holding a scroll of the Torah. So she is an example of the Shekinah energy, the holy female aspect of wisdom, who doesn't really speak. She just knows. So shut the fuck up. Number one, shut the fuck up and go within and realize that's where you're going to start getting clarity. It's a good thing to meditate, but it's not necessarily a good thing to meditate with the intention of making yourself feel a type of way. If you meditate with the intention of finding a single point focus, that's a good thing. But not to find a polarity in the situation. You dig? You understand what I'm saying? And then from that space, you can do is to find a single point focus. And from then you can spread out with your creativity, your efforts, your direction, your sense of aim. These are like arrows. And they're all shot at once, like by an army, and they're all fixing to land. So it's going to be overwhelming for whoever's standing on the ground, metaphorically speaking. Because, they look like rods, not arrows, right? That's what the movement in this card is. It's very swift. It can be very passionate. You can move from your passion. You can move from the wisdom of your gut if you have a single pointed focus. Do you understand this thing? The greater than, less than. All right? This is what we're talking about. The single point focus is what makes all of this work back here. The greater than. If we didn't have the single point focus, none of this would have context of being greater than. So if we're looking to change our confusion into knowledge, which is what she has from spirit, we have to seek what's in between black and white. And then, okay, so I'm getting like color metaphors. Black and white, okay. Then we have the gray area. It's funny because they're like, just be confused. That's the advice. The advice is to be holy in your confusion. Not to strike judgment on either side of the thing. Not to judge from your traumas or your childhood damage or your expectations because you went through something in the past. This is just get yourself to a single point focus of, I don't know. Gemini has the worst time saying, I don't know. God knows, though. God's going to feed me the knowledge. Like, anytime Gemini loves having an answer, like, Gemini energy in general. If they can't say anything, they'd rather shut the fuck up than say, I don't know. Or admit that they can't figure it out. So, I'm saying embrace your I don't know, all the while getting into your, that's by your I don't know meaning your lack of assumption. Get into your experience of the moment. Okay? You have to feel it through, but you have to also take a back seat and do a lot of praying during this time. You have to focus your mind, which gives you a grayness. You can go then into color as your due. The advice is to get the single pointed focus so you can really get back into the color and start painting again. With a full palette. That's action, building things, starting to make actual progress, having things land, ideas landing where they can take root. But you really, the advice here, again, this is the don't card. You have to put in the work. You can't submit to a higher authority and not do the work right now. That's your act. You have to be in action and actively guarding your thoughts, taking a strong spiritual stance, being a blessing intentionally. Then things will start unblocking for you. But you literally, it's like goddess helps those who helps themselves. So let's see what the bottom of the deck is. We don't take reversals, but we're noting it. The Taurus card. The Hierophant. Again, we have some pillars, only these are just purity, standing on the sense of justice, right, maybe not justice, but moral principle, correct moral principle. Not law, but morality. The keys to heaven. We have lilies and roses being represented on those robes down at the bottom. So that would be love and purity. Resurrection. But also, that red robe is extreme passion and luxury at the same time. So it's a passion for doing things correctly and being traditional and masculine version of the High Priestess, more or less. Like, these are spiritually based entities in the deck. First and foremost, you have to plug in to God, your version of God. gods, plural, if that's your thing. That's not really me to judge. I'm can be going into nature and just listening to the birds. But you have to have spiritual integrity. And nothing is going to be a single pointed focus, and nothing will be clear. I know you've been working so hard. Trust that the knowledge is going to come from somewhere beyond you. Continue to take a step back when it feels like tension and not guidance. Everything happens for you, not against you. The more trust you have and faith you have in your highest good and being of value and increasing your own like standing by your own integrity and all of this, knowing what you know and standing by what you know, the more satisfaction you garnish by communing with God, the better everything starts to make sense, and the more action you can push forward, and you can actually get through all of this. But it has to be methodical, Mars and Taurus, earthy. You have to come from the right place first. And don't forget to be luxurious about it. You can't have tension in your body and receive word from God in the right timing. At the same time, if you're in a hurry, you're not going to get it. Slow down. That's why we have all those slow cards in the beginning. The other reading with the Seven of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands. All we want is the softness, but we can't have that softness if we're being contradictory to it. Trust in the Most High, whatever that is for you. Yes, trust in the Most High, but understand that the work is yours to do. You have to lay the foundations. You have to get your mind in a single pointed focus. So do guided meditations. I was chanting this morning. Doing chanting because that helps focus your throat chakra and your mind together so that you're in alignment again. And, you might be in a sense of tension and not being able to speak your voice, not knowing how to proceed with things. So that's another way you can spiritually anchor yourself in old traditions, Hierophant style. There are hundreds and thousands of years of chants of many different kinds of religious and language backgrounds. I like Sanskrit ones. Trying to remember the name, but it doesn't matter. I listened to 2 different kinds this morning. One was Om Mani Padme Hum, which is a classic. I don't really know how to pronounce it correctly, so I'm a little bit worried about saying it, but the Gayatri mantra, Gayatri mantra, and I do my best. Because I don't speak Sanskrit, but I do love the vibration in my body, and it does help bring me to a more spiritual, single-pointed focus. I also like Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Krishna Rama, Hare Hare. These are just tools. But really, it's having some faith, but not losing yourself, not untethering from your body, but staying anchored in that single pointed focus. So that's it. That's how to. It's just discipline, y'all. Stay disciplined, mentally, spiritually. May all of us come through this wiser and more integrated with our shadows than we were going in. Okay, that's enough for today. I'm always on these forever and ever, and I wonder who watches them to the end. I appreciate those who do. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves.